4-3-3 seems to be playing into their favor because their 3-3 play today has been nothing short of amazing. Already Legday bringing out the notebook, big boy Fusion, showing us exactly why he was regarded as one of the best tanks in Contenders last season. Definitely looking a lot happier now, you've got to say.
Fusion's reborn, shall we say, into week 4. Having a much better performance coming into the penultimate week when really it all comes down to British Hurricane being on their last life. What a day to show up for the entire roster, not just big boy Fusions. It's the rest of them. It's Happycool, it's Kib, it's Nesh, it's Bocket and Astro coming in on the Mercy, which we don't usually see Astro doing in officials, but he's picking up that responsibility and he's playing it well.
Nice little cheeky shield. Thought it was going to fall off the edge there when he first threw it up, but makes it up there. Bocket's going to pick up the Roadhog, so that good old 3-2-1 seems to be the most common comp that we speak about these days alongside double sniper. No opening picks for Nesh, but he's got this Mercy pinned away and just knows can't stay there for too long. Time to run away. Dive coming in from Angry Titans, so they've got the Widowmaker on side, so they can contest if needs be.
He's not going to push his luck by staying there too long. Not when he's got a good eye on what team is coming for them. They're going to filter around to the right-hand side for British Hurricane, but they're leaving only God at the back, still to apply pressure from the side and keep them distracted as they can't focus on one direction. Already, Elevote diving into the top line, wants to displace them, but here's the dive from Angry Titans. Happycool's already found Lolsish, so they're missing one of their crucial tanks to make this work, but only got picks off by the Astro. That's exactly why he's playing further back to catch the transition. Urky's going to go in close, but he went a little bit too close to Bocket on that Roadhog, who's going to be taking him out. Takes a breather, wants to reset the fight and get back at it. It's a very slow Overwatch at the moment. Nice hook onto Only God with a sliver of health will give him that extra kill. British Hurricane have shut down the push from Angry Titans for now.
That's why Imprecise is just so threatening. It gives you all that information. And the enemy team know you've got it as well. They know that you can see them at seemingly any time. But Angry Titans have definitely turned this one around now, despite it looking like it was all green lights for British Hurricane. The landing strip is not clear. Angry Titans are going to push onto the second.
That's a massive fonker how they turn that one around, but Angry Titans with their dive already got 2/3, going to move on to a complete pie of point A and hopefully transition the momentum into point B.
You got to consider that Urky, Elevote, Lolsish can all get back to the point quite quickly. It is, of course, assault where first point tends to favor the attackers, at least in terms of spawn advantage. Second, as we all know, very heavily favors the defenders though, but let's see what Urky can get done with this blade.
2 more percent to go. Got a damage boost. There is there's no actual defense ultimate available for them. Angry Titans can just peel through this. The shot comes out from Only God. The Dragon Blade's available to shut down Bocket. Just going to deflect the whole hog. They've got positional advantage on the point, and the reinforcements are staggering out. Urky ends up taking out Bocket. Watching Only God from a distance, just taking pop shots. But on the ground war itself, it's Urky trying to level this one out for the Angry Titans, but Nesh comes out with that Brigitte, wants to stem the flow of the dive. Too late, you're not looking the right way for Urky, and the Shuriken's going to cut through you regardless. Goes for Astro as well. It's a 2-for-1 special on supports. Can he shut down Bocket? Bocket can't even get the ice block out. Angry Titans, they've rolled over this one. They're in control, and Lolsish goes huge to finish it off. 5 minutes 30, and they get to do it all over again, assuming British Hurricane can match.
Hurricane kind of stuck in the transition phase there. I kind of hope they'd switch up their comp a bit sooner to deal with the dive. Go towards the triple tank if you want. Take a McCree if needs be. Just make sure you have that Brigitte on side a little bit earlier. Because as you said, there was absolutely nothing to shut down the Genji once that blade came out. There was only the Mercy on the defensive side. Even a Lucio with the boot could have saved in that fight, but Angry Titans effectively using the ultimates. Again, everything came online at the right time for them, and they managed to get the full blitz through. Now it rests on Hurricane to show us what they can do on the attack. Angry Titans, as it stands so far, going towards a very similar style of setup, but they're keeping the double support in the mix as well.
Well, Angry Titans going to go over to the Orisa. So we're not having the mobility dive duo of Elevote and Lolsish, but we don't expect to see that on defense anyway. But it is what they play best. Their coordination is second to none. British Hurricane going in there. Looks like they're going to be rolling Kib on the Genji, so a little bit of dive for them, whilst also maintaining Niche on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, I like that they're bringing this out because Lolsish and Elevote, we spoke about these guys earlier on. Ryan and Diva, it's their go-to bread and butter heroes when it comes to these guys. Lolsish picking up the Orisa, haven't seen him play it too often. This is the first time I think we've seen them get close towards that 3-2-1 style of setup. They played it this week anyway. They have played it in previous weeks. But opting not to go with Urky onto the Hanzo, which is the usual setup we see joined up to this one. And no Fox on the Roadhog, another quite common thing that we see. Instead, they're going to rely on what they've got to deal with British Hurricane, who seems to be going towards this dive.
Yeah, I think they're calling British Hurricanes bluff. That dive coming in from Kib will be the thing that Aoki's looking to shut down while playing that additional support on the back line. Nesh, he's going to have the distance, but he's going to have to cut through about 1.5 shields in a defense matrix to get to any targets. Does make it quite difficult. I don't know if we'll see British Hurricanes shake it up after the initial push, assuming they get pushed back.
And let's not forget as well that Kib is a big Genji player. You always think of Shadow when you think of Genji players in EU contenders, but it is his go-to bread and butter hero. So now's a good time to show that he can shine. Nesh has even abandoned the Widowmaker here, so he does not want that fight against OnlyGod. They just want to go for full dive and make sure someone dies incredibly quickly.
Holt goes out a little bit too early, doesn't find anyone, so there's a brief window for people to get through without being separated by Orissa's ability. Need to find the right time to go. It's still very stagnant. Kib goes very low to Urki, and he's doing exactly what he picked the Brigitte for, shutting down any backline aggressors.
He was very much so on his own. They're probably a bit too eager to get into the microwave, as we often call it from solo queue. Everyone remembers the days of Symmetra. Turning that room into a bit of a scary place to be when you were trying to walk through, but as the only man who got through, it was pretty easy to shut him down. No one else could join him at the time because of the lurking eyes of OnlyGod.
Now you see him move forward. There's the dive coming in. You see Winston and, of course, Diva jumping onto the back. Elivo already with the cleanup onto Nesh. You jumped a little bit too far for the rest of the team to be able to help it out. The pressure is there to move OnlyGod, but he's standing on a ledge, taking a few shots. Will go down to Haftycool, but in the meantime, Elivo's been doing so much work on this Diva. Fusions, Astro, they've gone down, and then Urki's going to follow up with a complete Hafty cooldown kill. Lolsish, of course, will take out Kib, so British Hurricane being forced back again. They've already burnt through more time than what Angry Titans did, and they're going to mix it up. Absolutely are.
So they realise that actually the dive here is going to get punished time and time again. They do have to change things up, and like we said, we expected them to go to a map where they can continue playing 3-3. Anubis, although it wasn't their pick, it's in a good spot. Elevator's dropped down behind them here, and he's got that self-destruct on side if they want to use it.
What are they going to combo it with, though, Des? Just going to have to throw it in blind, channel it in an RCK, and hope for the best. OnlyGod's lining up the site, so he's actually gone behind them now, taking over that arch from their spawn. Really going to throw them off when they emerge eventually to get this going.
This is why it's so important to have a opposing Widow that you can take these angles from. We've seen so many teams just completely dominate from behind. They're going to drop down and go down to the low ground, though, and try and force a fight onto this middle ground.
Straight into him. The Holt pulls off Reinhardt. The self-destruct goes up. There's no shield for them. Only the protective barrier, but Astro's not in range for it. And now OnlyGod's going to clean up from behind. They just got fusions on the point. They're going to have to clear him out afterwards. Kib's there for some reinforcements, but there's too many members of Angry Titans between them and their reinforcements.
Come on.
What a 180 flick by OnlyGod to go ahead and get Funny Astro. He's just showing off at this point.
It wasn't even that. It was timing as well, although there is a great counter pick coming back out that way from Nesh. So that will at least slow OnlyGod down, if not only temporarily. The beauty of that was the timing that came out of it, though. It's just instant flick around, kill the Lucio, spin back around, look at the point, and pick off anyone else who's there again. Really, really good time setting, you might say, by Nesh.
OnlyGod popping the infocytes, but there's still plenty more ultimates to go for Angry Titans. Of course, that Supercharger, the Rally, Transcendence, and of course Valkyrie. A lot of defensive ultimates coming out here and a lot of buff ultimates. So going to really let Elivo and OnlyGod shine with this one, but they're going to move and try and bypass them straight away. They're on the point. Supercharger comes down to help shred through some of these shields and stop protection on their team. Haftycool going to retreat, but now they're just allowing Angry Titans to take high ground positions around them and really get themselves set up. I want to know where Nesh is in the chaos. Throwing out the self-destruct, clears some space, finds Apex, Kib emerges as well to get Urki, and Nesh is just fighting with OnlyGod. Even if he doesn't get a kill here, keeping him busy is more important than killing him, because if they can stop the Skyfire coming down onto Hurricane, it allows Haftycool to do stuff like this and clean up the back line entirely. Just leaving Lolsish on the point. Urki's probably going to stumble out of spawn, but British Hurricane will cap Outbite with about 20 seconds in their time bank to begin with.
So already going down to 4.5 minutes means there are about 1 minute and 15 seconds or so behind the time that came out of Angry Titans. Angry Titans' immediate response is to switch things up. They've got the Transcendence, they've got that ultimate coming online. The rally has been popped by Urki to top everyone up, which means this will be a hard push for Hurricane, but they do have 2 support ultimates online, and Fusions is a couple of hammer swings away from that ultimate.
If we know anything about Fusions, we know he can get that ultimate very quickly. That protects barrier. Maybe not the most efficient, but it will get enough charge. Nesh going incredibly low, doesn't have one for himself, comes off cooldown just in time, and the sound barrier then will save his life. Moving forward, Shatter comes down, multiple members knocked down, going for the right clicks, can't get in range. Transcendence comes out from Afox and Bocket. There's going to be a pin onto Fusions. He's away from the healing, but it's going to come to him. Ambulance service Premium delivery for Pollitt. Keeps Fusions alive in the fight. Self-destruct downstairs. Nesh gonna have to move around the corner. He's on the Zarya now, of course. Elivo's still trying to pull this one out. There's a positional advantage for British Hurricane. They've not quite secured the man advantage, though, as the reinforcements are coming from a closer spawn for Angry Titans, and they're gonna push back the offensive from British Hurricane.
Do manage to shove them all the way back, but it means that that ultimate is online for Nesh on their next push. And to be honest with you, Graviton Surge is the big kind of instrument coming into this 3-3 setup. You're looking to try and combo that off, either with a Ryan swinging away or with a self-destruct, or even just a Brigitte charging in and making sure that shield is down so everyone can wail away quite freely. They've got that online right now, but Only God does not. He has, however, managed to maintain the armor from the rally, as is Aafox.
But they're going to make them fall over themselves. They push them back. It's harder to walk backwards than it is to walk forwards. And Fusion's is going to take down Lulstich. There's the Graviton Surge, pulls them together. What's going to combo with it? The Transcendence coming out from Aafox should negate most of that.
And the Shatter.
Fusion's going to follow up with the Shatter. Transcendence expired, but Pocket's going to bring out his own Sound Barrier then to layer on top of what Aafox already did. There's a lot of health coming out. And already they're trying to cut through this all, but Urki going to get the stun of the Funny Astro. Very weak members of Hurricane still on the point. They're all getting reinvigorated by Angry Titans. Fusions will get a consolation prize of Urki, but 2 minutes in the time bank remaining for Hurricane. They only just get a slight ultimate advantage.
Alevo is whizzing around these points like a pinball in these fights. He's killing one target, immediately springing onto another, killing them in a second, then bouncing onto the next. Can't slow him down. It's a bit too fast with those jets on the Diva mech. He's now got the self-destruct online as well for this next, and not quite final fight, but we're getting there, Tridd. There's less than 2 minutes on the clock. Nesh going to be looking for a big grab here if they want to round this out. The last one didn't go so well.
He pulls them all together. They just need to get rid of the charge. The self-destruct goes wide. They trade kills. Happy Cool gets taken out. So does Aafox, but that's both a self-destruct. Rally for Kiv. Going to give everyone that extra armor. Aafox goes down at 96%. Unable to get that Transcendence out. So he's going to come back next time for it. Graviton Surge pulling Hurricane under the bridge, buying a little bit more time for Angry Titans to get reinforcements, with Doc Bot throwing out his many hands to get multiple kills. And they emerge with the Transcendence. Lulstich going to be reinvigorated by that as he charges down Fusions. Angry Titans back out on the point, sitting in their own healing. Pocket's going to have the exact same thing for British Hurricane, and they're pushing forward, but the kill feed looks to be going over to Angry Titans, so they burnt another minute. And a British Hurricane still yet to get any progress on point B.
Incredibly back and forth, and they were lucky to be able to rely at the very least on Aafox's Transcendence coming out when he spawned back up. Only got switching over to the Bastion here. Interesting final stall tactic. Maybe they're relying on it here to chew through the shields coming out of the British Hurricane lineup. He's going to switch back over though.
Unsurprisingly, I think that was just desperation, catching by surprise in the panic. 40 seconds remaining for British Hurricane. Earth Shatter, Graviton Surge, and the defensive ultimates are following up to them. Astro going to push away Lulstich by Fusion some more time. There's Graviton Surge, pulls them together. Only God's been taken through. British Hurricane have a serious man advantage now. Converted to percentage, keep Elivo away and stop the stall from coming in. Just buy yourself some more time. 20 seconds. Here comes Elivo. Burn him quick. Don't give any time. 5. There we go, 6, and they get it. 1 minute remaining, 6 minutes 15 given over to Angry Titans though, Dez.
Almost managed to get the stall of the May as well, but just didn't quite come to fruition. Kind of a lapse of attention there, I think, for Angry Titans really cost them in that final fight, but good execution by Hurricane to force their way through and at least force us into an overtime. But as you said, Tridd, 6 minutes and 15 seconds against 1 minute. Based on how long it took Hurricane to crack the point last time round, I'm doubtful, shall we say, although at this point it's hard in this series to doubt anything. We've been surprised by Hurricane so far. They could surprise us yet again.
Stranger things have happened, Des. Stranger things than a immediate capture point A, transition momentum to point B, and capture that as well. Happens all the time in competitive queue, and it can even happen to the pros, or the future pros of tomorrow, Des. So I wouldn't write off Hurricane just yet, but you'd be a silly man. You'd be missing a lot if you didn't appreciate the 5 minute 15 difference in these guys' time bank.
It's like we said, halftime was going to be a bit of a grilling for those guys. Got to really pull themselves together and remind us why they were the team who came into this week 3-0, having dropped only 1 map. And that was on Rialto, funnily enough, against, I believe, Young and Beautiful, who, of course, would have employed the wonderful strategy we saw in the second match of today, where they pulled out some nice Orisa play. Oddly enough now, they're the ones having to employ Orisa in their defense against British Hurricane with 1 minute on the clock.
Scrim's all a learning experience, but here we go. We're running out of this with triple tank for British Hurricane. Going to mix up who has the DPS role and who has the tank. So they're going to switch Nesh over to Widowmaker, keep Kib on the Roadhog instead of having him on that Hanzo. sacrificing themselves as Zarya, but Zarya can have a high ult charge time if you don't play it right, so it's a little bit risky. Going to move in fast with the Lucio amped up. You can see Fusion getting himself very far forward to make sure he blocks a lot of the damage, especially from OnlyGod on the Widowmaker, but getting peppered by Erky's Junkrat. No kills coming out. If this goes the way of Angry Titans in the kill feed, British Hurricane aren't going to get much done. They're hiding inside. Lost has already found Bucket. That should be it for British Hurricane. Unless Kib can answer with a kill of his own onto a support, he does just that. They get a D-Mech onto Elivo. They're in prime position to take this over. Luddy going for some supportal combat onto Funny Astro, and the Riptide is going to be waiting round the corner, just waiting in case anyone goes for the point. It's being used to stall. Can't find a kill because Nesh will take it out of the sky. Someone needs to touch, and now we're in overtime for British Hurricane. Takes a shot through the gap. Not going to get the kill, but we'll get a few dinks. Look at that. Kid with a whole hog onto Lolsish, going to keep him in the room and off the point. Mercy's going to die through. Nice tag on the Erky. Now you need to cut off the reinforcements, Nesh. Reposition, have a look down the corridor, build up that point A capture. You've got 2 ults in the bag already. Get yourself a third and run over to point B.
I think they want to go inside the spawn gate here and very quickly change over. They'll use Astro to get the speed boost back out again. But to be honest with you, Widowmaker not super effective. They are going to roll out with that 3-3, and here they go, Tridd. If they can win it in one push here, that would be all but a miracle for the Hurricane.
You're going to have to contend against the Valkyrie, and of course the self-destruct nearly up, and Erky's probably going to get that Riptide during the fight just because of how oppressive Junkrat can be. They're going to go in. Early Valkyrie. High ground being fought over by the entrance. Erky already takes out Kib. It's not looking good for British Hurricane, especially when they're about to enter overtime. Sound barrier comes out from Funny Astro, keeps everyone topped up. Happy's going to take out Erky. Need to get another kill. Luddy brings him back. Protected barrier from both sides. And now they're fighting in A-Fox's Transcendence. Kib switches over to Tracer to get back to the fight faster. Going to be running around there, but Elivo, OnlyGod, they're taking out the backline of British Hurricane. That's how you shut down an offensive stall in Assault. Angry Titans going to shut it down with a couple of % taken for British Hurricane.
It's a cute little play at the end from Nesh as well there to get the bubble down onto his own tank to make sure that neither of them get caught up by the Shatter. Not that it mattered in the end because Angry Titans still managed to storm their way through with the picks that they did get. And that kind of ended better than expected, dare we say.
You don't, well, but if you base it off their first offense, yes, they had about a quarter of the time, still managed to cap the point. So I'd say that's a win for British Hurricane. Where it becomes difficult now, 6 minutes 15 for point A and a fraction of point B.
Could you imagine if this becomes another drawn map? I think it was last season CIS Hope were the only team to have more than one draw coming into it.
If it comes into another drawn map, it means that Rialto will still be the decider because they'll be tied at a 1.
If Hurricane win, they'll take it.
Yep.
If Angry Titans win, then we go to Ilios.
Guarantees we go to Ilios, you're correct, Des.
I think if Hurricane win the final map, if it goes to it, of course, and they win anyway, for 2-0 should surely guarantee the victory, since they pull ahead in the regular. We've never had a double draw in a series.
That's very true. I'm trying to work out the maths of it. No, so, okay, so the scoreline in the series is 1-0. This is the 3rd map to be played. This is also a tie. It means that the 4th map can be played. British Hurricane can win that, and that means that we will be getting a 2-0 finish in the series.
Yes.
If Angry Titans win, it goes to 1-1, then we force out Ilios as the tiebreaker.
Correct. But to get to that eventuality, potentially, British Hurricane have got to stop Angry Titans from getting any more than the whole of the first point. They cannot get a third on that second point or it's lights out.
Going to start off strong first, put Nesh up there, removing the damage boost. Still enough to find Luddy even without it, so nice shot by Nesh. Might have to move back though. Going to see the dive coming up for him. Already used the grapple hook to reposition, and Elivo goes very low when he's trying to attack Nesh, even though he's already moved off that position. Only got going to go for the peeking war, hopefully pick away at some of these tanks on that forward position.
It's no real big surprise what happened there. It's standard kind of procedure, you might say. The Widow on top trying to get an opening kill. The tanks dive onto the Widowmaker to force her back. It happens at the start of every single round, especially when there is an Orisa on side to give the Widow that protective shield.
Lurky's back on the Genji. We saw him do some serious work with this last round. He's going to try and do it again, just being a nuisance from the side, but he has that added verticality that Tracer does not. It makes it even harder for the tanks to deal with. Diving onto the point, Elivo's already taken out Astro, so they're missing the Mercy. OnlyGod's going to get the double tap onto Bucket, and then Erky comes up, cleans up Kib, cleans up Nesh, gets stunned up, but it's too late. Angry Time's going to pay point A. He's going to get themselves a nice 5-minute 30 to play with when it comes to point B.
That's a lot of time, and Urki's not too far away from that blade. They've even got the Infratite to make sure he can pick off those key targets. British Hurricane this time round are not making the same mistake. They switch over immediately to 3-3. They bring out the Brigitte. They are ready to answer this dive. Elevo actually with a sudden change as well. I think he was in mini D before. He changed away onto the Rhine, back onto the Diva. Does mean they lose the ult charge, but they get the mech.
Speaking of losing ult charge, British Hurricane sacrificed any that they had by doing that full change. They really value the composition over the ults they would have racked up for themselves. They're definitely playing around the terrain. They're very conscious of where Only God is on the Widowmaker, but they have to move forward because the point's being contested. This is a strong burn to fight through. Urki pulls out the blade. Kid's going to go down right away, and he's looking for more. Dashes through fusions, goes into the back line. Still, the supports are able to fight him off, but with those 3 kills given over to him, Only God makes it a 4th. Man advantage there for Angry Titans. They're going to tie up the series, and we are going to finish it all on Rialto.
Is it Rialto?
I'm guessing it's Rialto.
Could be Gibraltar.
It could be Gibraltar. I don't know why I said Rialto. I'm just assuming it's going to be.
Most teams pick up Rialto these days.
There you go.
So you're absolutely spot on with that one. But to be honest with you, Angry Titans showing that sometimes a half-time break is what a team needs. A bit of a water break, a bit of a chat between them, a bit of a pep talk, and now they came out prepared. Still a very close map, so Hurricane are still looking excellent, but going into the final map, it's anyone's guess what can happen.
Well, I've guessed that it's Rialto, apparently. So, and I guarantee if it is Rialto...
That doesn't guess the outcome,
No,
That's
I guarantee
thing.
if I write Rialto down and it becomes Rialto for map 4, everyone's just going to say this is scripted, which definitely is.
Okay, well, if you've got the scripts in your hands, tell me who's going to win.
It's a tough one. I might answer that. Maybe after we come back from this break. Welcome back to this fantastic series, and it's gone a way we did not think it was going to go down to. We enter the 4th map with a 1-1 scoreline, and yes, that is group leaders Angry Titans against, well, what we thought was the failing champions from Season 1, who suddenly picked themselves back up coming into the final weeks.
They came into this week with a 1-2 record. Not what you expect for the winners, not only of the whole region, but also the Atlantic Showdown, showing that they have this fantastic caliber. And we had some questions on the desk at halftime. We were speaking about Craggy stepping down and Nesh stepping in as the replacement. Well, your replacement has arrived. Fantastic Widow play. Huge compliments as well to Zarya play in the earlier rounds. The team is just looking so much more cohesive and strong. Now they've got to really show the grit, I think, against the revitalized Angry Titans team who at halftime must have had a bit of a rousing speech because they're playing a lot better now as well. This may as well, it feels like a final almost. Is that tight between the two teams. You cannot predict this one, I don't think.
And we know that because we're going into an escort map type to finish this off, there will be no fifth map. It all comes down to this for these two teams. We're waiting to find out what that final map is going to be.
Obviously. You've already leaked the script.
I've already leaked the script, apparently, by saying Rialto. It's Rialto.
Scripted!
He's only gone and done it.
It's almost like we get wrong on predictions for fun and not because it's all scripted, right?
Oh, God, I wish it was as simple as that and we could explain away our bad predictions sometimes, but it's not. Jumping onto Rialto, final map, British Hurricane, Angry Titans. The season is on the line for Hurricane. It puts them in a terrible spot going into the final week.
It does, and hopefully whoever is writing these scripts back at HQ has written a fantastic end to this game because we all want it to end that way. No one wants a clean sweep by one team. We want a close match to round this out. I'm not saying let's go something as crazy as 12-12 overtime or something ridiculous like that, but we want an exciting match. And Kib, I spoke about him earlier on, saying when we think of a Genji player, we think of Shadow. He's doing exactly the same thing as Shadow, just playing Doomfist and throwing himself in the river.
Maybe it's a pre-match ritual for these players.
For the
Maybe
Genji
it's for good luck.
players.
It's for good luck.
It's for the Genji players.
Who knows? British Hurricane going to be on the defense first, and they're going to be going up against Angry Titans, and they're teasing it, but I don't know if they want to do it again. It's the pirate ship with Captain Only God. I don't know. You've got a little bit of distance here, and some teams can play very aggressive on this first point defense. If they cut you off from the payload, you're going to have a really bad time because there's no direct line of sight from the spawn room itself.
I'm curious to know if Angry Titans will do a bit of scouting before they just charge out the gate this time round, because if they get caught out without really any awareness of where the enemy team are, it's quite good to expect it, and they're probably seen it and gone, oh no, not again, not another bash.
They're going for it. They're going to do it. Captain Only God at the helm, and they're moving all on the payload. The shipmates are there, and British Hurricane seem to have backed off. I think they've spotted out what's happening. They're aware of what's going to happen. They're changing it up. They know they have to adapt to mix it. They're going for a tankier composition, going for the 3-3. They think they're going to contend. They've given up basically half of the first point to contest this one forward. What will happen when these two Goliaths collide? They're going to emerge out the gate. Only God
run
off
only
the
God,
position.
Run.
He knows he's not safe. He has to change into tank form straight away. Gets himself set up, but Fusion's already going to cut through him. Lorsish returns the kills on the Happy Call, but British Hurricane have emerged and they've shut down Angry Titans' pirate ship combination.
Well, just like the Titanic, it's going to be sinking altogether. Angry Titans, that comp not working out the way they intended. They want to bowl their way through, but it turns out it's Hurricane doing the bowling today. Going down the alley, having a bit of fun, a bit of entertainment in their final game.
I love what you just squeezed in there. That basically saying that the composition has become the Angry Titanic this game.
Exactly.
Unable to get
I kind of thought you can't really say Titanic because it just sounds silly.
No,
so you had to kind of squeeze it in.
The Angry Titanic is what that composition is. Back onto the game. Angry Titans mixed it up as expected. Going to match them with the 3-3 combination, but they've given up so much ult charge already. You can see Fusion's already making fine work of that as Kib is going to go through Luddy, and Nesh follows up. Angry Titans sent back to the spawn room. 2 minutes 20 on the clock.
British Hurricane are finding the answers to deal with what they're throwing at them. The first time round, they had the counter to the comp. The next fight, they had the ultimates. The third fight, they are still going to have ultimates. But Angry Titans, look at Lulsish. He's got his ultimate online as well. We always speak about Reinhardts like him, like Fusions, like Sharik, and what they can do with these shadows. Let's see if he lands a big one.
Coalescence is going to tear through the corridor. There's a finite amount of space to go. And A-Fox, he's done running. He's going to fall down to the laser beam. Kib taking out Lulsish, so Angry Titans holding up, and the ults are generating so fast from the British Hurricane. They've nearly got themselves a full platter. Only God's going to cut through Fusion in the corner. So a couple of return kills coming out for Angry Titans, and they're going on the offensive. They smell blood in the water, and they're looking to find Hurricane. But remember, look how much space they've got between them. Bocket's going to be run down by the laser. They have time and distance for one more fight, and we know how stally it can get under this bridge, Des.
No bully Haffy. Everyone just dived on him as soon as they managed to cut through the main tank of Fusions. Haffy was the next target, and he flew away as best he could. Still got himself focused down. It was quite unfortunate because Lulsish died just as he used his Earth Shadow at the start of that last fight. Not that it mattered, because as soon as Angry Titans managed to isolate Fusions and cut him down, there was no main tank for either side. It turned into a bit of a fiesta.
Speaking of cutting down, both supports are feeling that laser from Nesh. Here it comes, British Hurricane with a vigor to fight back Angry Titans. 1 minute on the clock, and they got 5, pretty much 6 ultimates to play with against Angry Titans 2, maybe at best 4, depending on how fast these supports can rack up their ultimates.
Nesh still doing his work on this Zarya, but having all of these online, you're coming into potentially the final fight, depending on how long it lasts. I am very worried, Tridd.
Lolsish stunned up in the middle of the party, gonna have to charge out. While that's going on, Kib and Nesh have found the back line already. Erky and Luddy having a bit of difficulties. The Coalesce is gonna tear through them. Happycool finds only 2 members of Titans alive at the point, and Hurricane still being conservative with their ultimates, have 3 to fight back what should be the final push, but Angry Titans nearly have the full 6 to hit with.
I wish I could have recorded you signaling towards the TV there in excitement, because it is a very serious situation. Happycool now with that self-destruct, and Nesh with the Graviton Surge. That is what Hurricane are riding on to win them this series, or at least win this round with an almost guarantee of winning the series.
Okay, Hurricane to pull the trigger first. Self-destruct goes into the back. Transcendence is there. Charge through.
Too late.
No, well found. Now it's time for Angry Titans to do the same thing. They pull them together. They shred through them. Angry Titans are getting the kills. They're going to have to push this even further. The overtime will do them enough as they hit the second stage of Rialto.
We literally came down to those final combos. The charge from Fusion's literally a millisecond too late to get Ryan out of the way to make sure that self-destruct picked off multiple members. So maybe a bit unfortunate for Hurricane, but after that defense, they find themselves in a good situation. Angry Titans, though, they're on a roll. They're starting to really snowball away with this game, Tridd.
And they really stuck at the British Hurricane there. They capitalized on the split spawn and got a load of free kills, some additional ult charge, but most importantly, stalled British Hurricane's defense to give them free territory to move into onto the second stage.
It's too casual a day on this river, Tridd. This game is far too exciting. The water should be rippling with joy as we are standing here. This can't stand still because it's such an exciting scenario to be in. Let's see if Angry Titans can walk through this one. They have got an ultimate online. Fusions brings out the Shadow, though. Doesn't really seem to connect with anyone.
No impact found. Sound barrier there for the rest of Angry Titans to push forward. There's a shatter. Fusion's caught sleeping by Lolsish. The Swedish tank takes Happycool into the corner, but won't get the kill. Now has to back off. Stunned up. No healing available for him. So despite a strong start from Angry Titans, it's a little bit more stagnated than we'd like, but the end result is still going to be the same. Angry Titans roll over another fight against the Hurricane.
First time Nesh has been caught sleeping, funnily enough. It was the Sturner that came through from Erky on the Brigitte that knocked Fusions out of the way, or at least got the shield down. The Shadow came through and they cleaned it up. And normally it's Giganti we think of when we think of teams that can execute that kind of combo incredibly well. We've just seen Angry Titans execute it with almost perfection, whilst Hurricane were caught sleeping.
Now they're about to hit that second checkpoint. It's important for Fusion to stay up, but he's run straight into a Graviton Surge, and look at the peel and the wraparound by Angry Titans. They collapse on the Singularity as the Singularity collapses on itself, and Angry Titans getting more kills. Funny Astro being stalled out, but he will fall down all the same. Final phase of the map for Angry Titans.
How much will Hurricane come back to kick themselves for that combo that did not work out and win them the defensive round? Because by the looks of it, Angry Titans are going all the way, Tridd. They've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play with, and they've got the ultimates online to back it up. Same story for British Hurricane, though. Their blue bar is considerably bluer.
Lights are on. It looks like British Hurricane at home. It looks like they're home at the moment, but they need to coordinate. The rally from Kib's going to keep him up. Another huge shatter from Lolsish. It removes Fusions from the fight. He's been sustained up. Counter grab coming out from Nesh. Pulls them together. Self-destruct's there, but it's blocked up by the shields again. The tanks have been on point for Angry Titans, shutting down this combination. But Kib gets a kill onto Lolsish. He should have died earlier, considering how much attention was focused onto him. But now they're starting to roll over. The shatter from Fusions will win them the fight. They finally find a way to stop Angry Titans after they secured that first checkpoint.
The combo didn't go as dreamy maybe as they would have hoped, but they get the kills nonetheless. The journey to the outcome was different. The starting point was the same, the end point was the same. Just the journey in the middle, ever so slightly different. Angry Titans now, they've got their own combo coming online. That Grav Surge is there. They're waiting for Elevo to get hold of that self-destruct. That could be their big win condition to close out this round, Tridd.
If British Hurricane can't defend it, they're having to race back to the payload and back to the position because Angry Titans just want to ignore them and run around them. They pulled them in to the self-destruct. They're going to charge through, take out the shield, but no one's in the area because the terrain is there, but anyone who wasn't was already taken out. A couple of return kills from the supports, but it's still going the way of Angry Titans. They're now going to jump on the payload, D-Mech happy, and get this back in motion.
They could have tried to stall him out a little bit there, maybe to make this final fight coming out of Hurricane a bit more tough, but Angry Titans were like, we just want to get on with it now, we don't care. Let's continue pushing, because of course, the payload will not go far if the mini diva is standing there dinging you in the head with a few shots.
Here we go. 2 support ultimates available for British Hurricane. Rally, Transcendence. They're going to pop both of them already for Angry Titans and really accelerate this gameplay. Jumping straight onto the ranks of British Hurricane. They're blocking it out. They've got themselves that self-destruct for Happy. Going to charge from to the side, pulling them together. Here's the grab set. If there's ever a time to get the combo right, it's now. British Hurricane drops down. The boot was there. It will only find Lulsish, but it gets the D-Mech onto Elivo as well. The tank line's been dismantled. 1 second left. Kill off the stragglers, end it here, and then go for the completion when you try your offense. British Hurricane just being stalled out by Elivo, who they've allowed to live for some reason.
They ignored him for the most
part. There you
go.
Overtime's going to tick down. Angry Titan's going to fall just short of completion. The earnest is on British Hurricane to not falter at the same point.
The fact that didn't complete does mean this series ends in this next push, Tridd. There is no overtime, there's no second chances, just one push. And one push alone stands between Hurricane and a much cozier ride towards the top 8 than how it will go if Angry Titans manage to hold them at bay.
This push can make or break the top 8 run for British Hurricane, and it can actually affect Angry Titans. We talk a lot about the consequence for British Hurricane. There are still consequences for Angry Titans. There are teams hot on their heels. If they don't get a win here, and then they go into next week and also lose that match, they go over a 3-2 scoreline. That puts them into the mix with other teams, and it could be quite dangerous for them when it comes to seeding against the other group. We already know Angry Titans are definitely confirmed to be in top 8. Where they finish can be affected by this matchup, but we all kind of sit back and go, well, actually, making it to top 8 slightly more important than where you finish in it.
You know what the scariest thing is for Hurricane is that this ascent towards playoffs is like climbing a mountain and then you get over the summit, and on the other side, there is a huge mountain before you that's 3 times higher that you've got to climb. Potentially, that mountain is called Giganti. They are waiting at the top end of Group B. If Hurricane manage to scrape through and find themselves in 3rd or 4th spot, they come up against CIS Hope or Giganti. It's basically the final from last season all over again, but Giganti are looking far scarier.
It's like if you had to climb out the Mariana Trench, and then as soon as you got out of there, Kilimanjaro is right in front of you. It's like, okay, brilliant. I just did a massive feat. I'm going to have to do another one. And that's how playoffs can feel to some teams, depending on how much of the effort and how much of the attainment they can get earlier on into the season. British Hurricane have unfortunately left it down to the wire, so it really becomes extra difficult for them into the game itself. Angry Titans on defense. Des, break it down for me.
They're running on the far Hanzo, so they've got that spam comp. They're expecting to play against tanks, but Hurricane, they're saying no thank you. We're going to roll out with Dive instead and bring the Widowmaker to the party. Of course, Funny Astro backing Nesh the whole way. One pick onto Urki could be enough to shut this down. They will have the res opportunity, but as we've spoken before, having that res is like having 7 members on your team. If you have to expend it early on, it may as well not be there at all.
And it also makes you incredibly vulnerable, especially if Far is dying in an exposed area. Luddy can just be ripe for the picking, but it will actually force Angry Titans to make a lot of tank movements around the map to reinforce that, make sure he's still alive. Nesh taking the flank, really wants to catch out the Far here, but it's actually Fusions who's going to go down to Only God's Hanzo.
Slowish start. Angry Titans the ones in control. Trade back from Nesh onto Only God, though, could be pretty big. The res we expect to come through. There it is. He's back up online as well. Looks did find Bucket in the mix of that as well. So Hurricane slowed at least to begin with. My real question is, how long do they stick at this if it doesn't work?
They got 3 minutes until it becomes a massive problem.
No res.
Oni, he's got a bit of a problem going on. It's a bullet to the head. And already you can see Urki. He's been fed the information of where Nesh is, and now he's conscious. Has to play around the terrain. Fusions moved forward, but it's Happy Cool's going to be helping get the kill. Nesh has found Urki. Happy Cool's going to take out Elivo as well. Where is Luddy? He's being forced off the map. That's a lot of ground to be gained by British Hurricane. I think Angry Titans might be able to stall out. Unless that happens to Only God, Nesh finds the perfect window of opportunity to hopefully lock down their continued run on Rialto.
He did the 180 pop on Anubis. It's the same story here, just finding the dashing Hanzo will completely shut him down. Been a bit of a quiet one so far. They're not going to trade it over. Angry Titans are rolling on towards the 3-3.
Angry Titans having none of their nonsense. They send Elivo up there immediately. Luddy getting the kill onto Fusions, but they did lose Apox in the trade. Resurrection gonna bring Fusions back. Pulse bomb straight onto Only God. No shield to keep him alive. And now Kib from the back line gonna move into Elivo. Take him out. Go onto the shield. It had to be held up by Reinhardt, so now he's exposed. There's a lot of attention coming from the Angry Titans spawn because the reinforcements are coming in. Contested with 3.2 meters to go. That Transcendence is the saving grace for Angry Titans. They should be able to turn it around here, then get a few kills. British Hurricane stopped just shy of the first checkpoint.
This is where we see so many teams manage to stage almost a full Holt, Giganti, Eagle, you name it. We've seen a number of teams pull it off successfully. Real question is, can Angry Titans do it for another 1 minute and 30 seconds? Hurricane, now is the time to change things up. 2.5 minutes, they're going to switch over to match. They're going for the 3-3 as well. This is where it all began back on Lijiang Tower, Tridd. That is where their revolution, the internal revolution began. Can they round it out on Rialto?
They could do it on Lijiang. Let's see him do it on Rialto, Dez. Transcendence being used early enough. Happy-Cool going straight for the Reinhardt. They want Lolsish to really feel the pressure and not be able to think with a clear head.
Big
Huge shatter from Lolsish. He works better under pressure, apparently, and he's going to cook British Hurricane and send them back to the spawn room with 1 minute, 5 seconds to go.
He managed to get the stall as well onto Bocky, which is even worse if he gets picked off there. That's 1 minute to go. No ultimates really coming online for Hurricane, but on the other side, you can see that bank coming into effect. They've got the self-destruct, the Grav Surge into the far away. Sound Barrier is alive and well soon enough. Another 7%, and even Avox, he'll get towards that Transcendence not too far. They've got the tools to stall, but like we saw from Hurricane on their defense, they messed up that final combo, which could have won it all for them.
Oh, here they go around the corner. Fusion's leading the charge. Happy-Cool right behind him. Going to swing the hammer. Lolsish stunned up. Nearly goes down. Discord Orb is on him, but the sound barrier is forced out early. They're already on the back foot. British Hurricane just need to push them all the way back. They've got ultimates built up. Des, you're right. Avox has got the Transcendence. Only got pulls in from the side with the Graviton Surge, sending a self-destruct to the back. Charge through Fusions, but the shields are good to keep him alive. It's going to be Kid taking out Elivo, but Urki deals with Nesh. Only God. Then on the Zarya, moves round for the tanks. They need to deal with finding Astro, Kib, and they also need to take out Happy, but he's going to send that self-destruct right up into the sky and actually weave himself into some nice cover. Has to get back on the point though. The reinforcements have to come in. And look at this. Going to jump onto it now, but just funny Astro. It's just Happy-Cool stalling it out. Kib's jumped onto the Doomfist. Nesh is here with the Tracer. They're not getting the kills. They're being picked off quite handily. The Transcendence comes in. It might keep everyone alive who's coming in high. There's Kib on the back line. Going to knock up Avox, but won't get the kill. Lolsish going to fire through the Flame Strike. He's got Nerve Shatter to end it all. Doesn't hit anyone because it's blocked by Fusion's shield. Doesn't matter. Luddy's going to get the kill. Only God's going to take out Funny Astro. Angry Titans stop British Hurricane, and they keep themselves with a perfect series record.
But they will have been feeling the pressure on that final map. The fact that it went to 1-1, 2 draws we go down to into that final round. That's a total lie. The 1 draw was more than enough, apparently. It's that much of a crazy series. My brain is frazzled from that one. But to be honest with you, we came in today expecting an Angry Titans win. We've got an Angry Titans win. But Hurricane showed us the team that we should have seen from week 1. And to be honest with you, coming into next week, yeah, they might be 1-3, but they still can make it. We saw teams last season make it with a 2-3 record. You can't write them off next week. This could be the revolution. Big question is it too late?
We'll only find out next week, Des. Unfortunately, I agree with you. This is the British Hurricane we wanted to see. And now we're going to find out whether it's what our analysts wanted to see as well. So we're going to throw it over to them to close out the broadcast.